They go forward, but here come the Sharks. Sense of purpose in this drive. Here come the Taipans then. Are they going to get one just before the break? How crucial this potentially could be in their bid to try and level the scores up or even go ahead. Ball goes out wide, can't grab it. It was a hard one to take above the head. Just fell out the fingertips. And the ball's been turned over into the final minute then of this first half. Sharks pressing forward. Looking like they're going to try and add a fourth. Have they done that? No, brilliant defence again from the Southeast Taipans, just when they needed it most as well, with seconds to go inside this first half. Are they just going to see the clock out? Waiting for the hooter. The hooter does go. Touch comes in, and that is half-time between the Southeast Taipans and the Southeast Sharks. And what was a rip-roaring opening couple of minutes, just sort of stagnated as both sides cancelled each other out. But it is the Sharks who lead by 3 points to 1 going into the break.
The boys are playing incredibly well. They're better than I've ever seen them play. We haven't used the full extent of our playbook, predominantly due to the weather conditions, but it's a slight shame. But they're doing their basics incredibly well, getting us down the park and getting us into a scoring situation almost every driving step. The thing for me is really the team cohesion. That winning these games, winning gold was never the goal for these boys. My goal for them was to get as many of the age-appropriate lads into the men's open training squad for 2020. And it's just fantastic to watch some of them really click, really start to play to their full potential. And I'm going to work very hard with the men's open coaches to make sure the boys that are of an appropriate age get a shot at the opens level.
It's been tough, but the result is exactly what we wanted. I'm incredibly proud. It was a really good campaign, and we've been very blessed with a very good cohesive team that has all worked together incredibly well, but couldn't have done anything without the assistant coaches of Keish and Catherine and Matt managing, and all the background help from the high performance team and Pippa. 13 debutants is probably a record for any junior touch team. I think I lost quite a few of the kids from last year, went up into 18s, managed to hang on to 3. The team just gelled straight away. We got working with lots of teamwork, and they just did brilliantly.
Bronze first year, then we've had silver last year, and then we've done it. We've finally got the gold, so I could not be more proud of such an amazing group and so much youth and talent in that team. We've got 3 14-year-olds winning mixed 18s. It's incredible. Like, the future for England Touch is, it starts here, and it's looking really, really bright.
Business as usual, I must say. I'm quoting Sammy Phillips, High Performance, who has just said that You know, we've been professional throughout the whole tournament. They have so much self-belief and they absolutely love working for their team and putting on that England jersey.
Couldn't be happier. This has been a sensational weekend for England Touch. 4 gold medals. I don't think we've never achieved that before at JTC, and we're ecstatic. It shows that our high performance programme is working and the athletes we're starting to create are fantastic, and we're so proud of them. Absolutely incredible to be unbeaten at championships in every division. So hats off to our coaching team and to the athletes themselves for producing such an outstanding result.
Seconds, please enter your 53 to wait. Players and officials stand by.
So back underway then here in Nottingham, the South East Taipans and the South East Sharks and the men's 35 age group. The first half was almost a tale of 10 minutes. The first 10 we saw all 4 scores and saw the Sharks burst into a 3-1 lead, and then in the second 10 it was really the South East Taipans defence shutting up shop and being really composed and compact at the back, disciplined as well. And they just need to carry on this going into the second, and they have got a touch, it looks like. Yep, just on the line. So the Taipans starting off well, but still need to soak up this early pressure. Just a pause in play at the moment. I think there was a short pause just for an injury, but we're back underway now. Just trying to throw the ball deep and maybe give them some space to really run into, and we're trying to lay the ball off and find Justin Conway, the number 10 there for the Sharks, but just a breakdown in communications then. Taipans getting up towards the halfway mark. Lovely quick hands from the Taipans and a really good movement away. 5th touch though, so got to make this next one count. No second chances. Touch is claimed, so turnover now for the Sharks. And Ruiz Giurani finishing it off as well. Almost felt like the Taipans had sort of lost their positioning just for a second. And the Taipans looking to try and bounce back. They desperately need the next score if they're going to try and get back into this game. There's still time, there's still an opportunity. They have defended really well for 3/4 of the game so far, but attacking wise just haven't had that edge that we saw this morning against the South East Taipans men's 40 side. Nice little layoff, and the Sharks have really got that bit between their teeth now. All floated into the middle. And run on to in pace. But turnover again, and it's just been the story so far for the South East Taipans. Every time they've come forward defensively, have been really sharp. Girani coming forward. Balls just seem to run loose, but the play's still going to continue as it's flung out to the wings, but no one was there. Girani just apologising. Just looked like the ball had just lost control, but the referee deemed not so. Being really forced back. The South East Taipans really having to work hard now to try and get up towards the halfway, shifting the ball from left to right and driving over that halfway line into an attacking position. But again, a turnover, neither side really attacking cleanly. They're always forcing an error. That was a lovely speed to that attack, but it's come to nothing in the end. Over halfway line they come. Moving on up over the 10-metre. Flinging the ball out left. Really good fizz on that pass. Done it well so far. Not conceded any more points. Well, a mazy run from the South East Taipans, but it comes to nothing in the end. Oh, a lovely little run inside, and it looks like, is it going to be the 5th of the day for the South East Sharks? It is. What a brilliant take and a really nice arcing run round. Andy Pennisard from CSSC for the South Sharks. And they are advancing into a 5-1 lead, and now it's going to become increasingly difficult for the South East Taipans to get back into this game, and they can't be affording to give away any silly mistakes. They've got to now take every opportunity that comes their way. So 10 minutes to go in this second half. The Sharks really looking to try and put this game to bed and out of reach of the South East Taipans. Really good pace, brilliant pass. Oh, just over the head of Alex Berger, the number 14, England men's 40 player. Just couldn't claim the ball as it agonisingly just went over him. Well, the South East Sharks side, if you've just joined us for the second half, it is packed with international experience. A lot of these players representing England's men's 40s, England's men's 35 squads. And they'll be looking to try and do so again. Of course, this is such an important weekend for just that. Players will be looked at, they'll be scouted, they'll be picked for the high performance camps. And there are so many different squads now for England. It's just growing and growing. England touch. We've had a packed summer full of incredible tournaments. So many brilliant games and fantastic memories being made from this summer. All started out in Malaysia at the World Cup as the ball's flinged out to the left-hand side. Great take. I think it's a score as well. It is. Well, a superb take. Almost falling to his knees as he was taking it. And used his position to get the ball to the floor even quicker. Brilliant stuff from the South East Sharks. And they're into a 6-1 lead, and the game looks done and dusted. So the Taipans looking to try and just get anything really, a foothold into this, just something to cling on to. Just the final attacks, just letting them down. Silly errors, but they'll look to push on from that. They'll look to move on. Of course, without the likes of Nicholas Heath as well, who's gone out to Japan actually for the Rugby World Cup. A victory early on in the day for the South East Taipans. So 5 minutes then remaining. Have the South East Taipans given themselves a springboard to miraculously get back into this? 5 minutes is a long time in touch rugby. And just look at the energy levels and the bounce that's just given them. Space potentially opening up. Lovely 1-2. And trying to spread it out to the right-hand side, but a block from Matt Allpress stops that attack going any further, but the Taipans have really got the wind in the sails at the moment. Meaningful touch there. Just almost nudging him back, just showing his presence. Taipans looking to try and go for the line. Weave the way through. Still with all the pressure, all the momentum behind the South East Taipans. 4 minutes to go on our clock until the final hooter. Looking for an opening, looking for an angle. Spread out to the left-hand side and just fizzed in front. Opportunity goes a-begging. Lovely drive through the middle. Good work to get towards the line. Oh, and a brilliant interception. He was so alive to that pass. Up there like a shot. And heads for the line. Attacking again from the South East Sharks. A lovely little pop pass and an easy finish for the South East Sharks. And that surely is that now. Just over 2 minutes remaining. A 7th on the board. A 5-point lead. It looks like it's game, set, and match for the South East Sharks. Durrani thinks so. 2 minutes then remaining. But the Taipans are not giving up without a fight. Still attacking, still working hard. Well, it looks like the game has gone slip, but still looking to come forward. The Sharks' defence still holding strong, and just a couple of slips there from the Taipans players. Make sure maybe the boots, the momentum, maybe even the surface, although the pitches here at Riverside Sports Complex in pristine condition, must be said. So a minute then remaining. Taipans looking to try and get over the line. Can they do just that? A brilliant interception, and the Sharks are away. They're not going to be... There was no stopping him. And he wraps things up for the South East Sharks. A brilliant performance then from the team in blue. As they have confirmed victory. There goes the hooter. There is the touch. And that is that, as the South East Sharks defeat the South East Taipans by 8 scores to 2. A clinical performance from the Sharks in this men's 35 age category group.
And we have a representative from women. So
We'll now move on to our next game, which will come from the men's 30s and see the North West Blades take on the Midland Tigers. That'll be coming up next here in Nottingham at the 2019 Touch Nationals Seniors and Masters.
I got into touch because my eldest son, Clark Hobson, he was really into it, raved about it, and he achieved England standard. I thought, well, I could maybe do that. So I got into it through Nottingham Touch Club 3 or 4 years ago, following my wife and both my daughters into it.
I love playing touch because it's a game where you can play 14-year-olds and 60-year-olds together. You can play men and women, so you could have a daughter and a mum playing together, and it's a really good fun to play.
Welcome back to Nottingham. This is Darren Harriott here to talk us through that game, Johnny.
Well, credit to the Sharks. We've done a lot of sort of warm-ups with them. They've helped us a bunch with sort of our preparation, and I think on the day experience probably won it.
I know it's interesting, just off air we were talking about you're a fairly new player to this sort of level of touch. This is your first year of playing touch properly. You've gone through the system at CSSC. You played a little bit of the DTS, the Development Touch Series. It's kind of a step up.
Yeah.
But how have you found it?
Oh, it's great. I'd say we put a lot of work in preparation for the tournament, and so I think that put us in good stead for today. And so I think, you know, we've gone out there, we've put our best foot forward, a lot of comms on the field, and I think we put in a real resilient performance there, even though the result didn't quite go our way.
Okay, well, we wish you best of luck for the future. But onwards with today's game in progress, and we've got the Northwest Blades against the Midlands Tigers in the over 30s action in the Masters and Seniors tournament here in Nottingham. And we just follow the progress of this Northwest Blades attack. They're on touch 3 here at the moment. Looks like they're trying to set up a move, Johnny. What do you think they're trying to work on here?
Well, they've got to the 5, so let's see what they do. He's gone for the dive, and the referee's said touch, I think, so it was very close. but didn't quite make the line, unfortunately.
So the Midlands Tigers trying to now move the ball out of their own half. Touch 1, touch 2. From here it looks like they're trying to work on fresh legs and get some new players onto the pitch. Being such a long tournament, I know a lot of teams playing 3 games in a day, or most of the teams will be playing 3 games in a day in this tournament. How do you try and pace yourself or manage that?
It's not easy, particularly with someone that's relatively new to this sort of format. You know, you've got 40 minutes of intense sort of sprinting around and comms, and then you sort of got an hour to 2 hours of downtime to then try and re-energise, stay out the sun on a day like today, and get yourself then ready for the next game with sort of a good 20 minutes prep. So it's definitely a skill, something that you have to sort of get to grips with over time.
Very, very much a case of trying to pace yourself through the day, as Alistair Chadwick makes a break down the middle. Let's see what the Northwest Blades can set up from here. I know they've got the main man, Samuel Ratchford, they're trying to orchestrate a play, but they're a bit of a fumble.
A little grubber.
Fumble in the middle, ball to ground, and that's a turnover with possession going back to the Midlands Tigers on touch 1 there.
They seem to be making good yards on their sub-off moves here, the Tigers. The last time they subbed on, there was a bit of miscommunication in the middles, but it looks as though they've got the sub-on move working well this time.
Yeah, it looks like they're trying to drag out the Northwest Blades midfield players there. But again, little maybe slippery hands, slippery conditions on the ball there, with the Midlands Tigers ball to ground on touch 4. Let's see if the Northwest Blades can maybe punish that mistake. Touch 1.
Looks like they're coming to the sub box.
Again, trying to get fresh legs on. A bit of miscommunication there. They need to go forward, but Craig Cropper, they're back on control, realigning and taking the Blades forward. Good pace there by Clive Riley. Again, Cropper in that midfield does like to orchestrate the play. You can see he's setting something up, a sweeper play. He's gone against the grain, big pass there. He's through. Oh,
seems to run into his own play. Unlucky.
I think accidental offside there. So ball going back to the Northwest Blades, who I'm assuming off this attack they'll be hoping to maybe put a few more metres on the ball. I know on touch 4 they had a little fumble, but let's see how they can progress on this play.
Yeah, it seems to be around touch 4 that they seem to have a bit of miscommunication and or sort of miss scoop in the middle. So let's see if they can get down into the other half this time.
So good pace there. On to touch 5. Good acceleration, but again, unfortunately, in that situation, not able to make the ball stick. That's Florence Fraser there, not quite able to grab hold of the ball.
Thought he might have given deviation there, but he's got
close call.
Defender.
The refs are very hot on that in this tournament, looking for that deviation. But I guess at this level, you are expecting everything to be called. So again, Northwest right in the middle now, an opportunity to break out. But
great shooter there, wasn't he? He came out of his blind side and I think he got him on a touch pass and a drop ball. So good D there.
Is it difficult maybe once you've had a bit of a break, sort of an hour and a half? You've had a bit of food and you maybe thought about something else other than touch. How easy is it to switch back on?
You know, I think it's down to individual preference. You're going to get a lot of guys that want to go run shuttles, sort of 20.
Interception.
The defender does very well there, didn't he? Just got his mitt up in the air to slap it out.
That would have been interesting if Daniel Taylor there could have held on to possession of that ball. That would have been an interesting run-in. He would have had a good 45 metres to make, but the Tigers regain control of the ball. Plenty of touches in the bag.
Over his head again.
Ambitious play, but
unlucky.
Not able to quite make it stick. So let's just go back to that point about you've had a bit of a rest period, a bit of a break in the action. How easy is it to switch back on to play?
Yeah, I think different individuals have different approaches. You know, some want to do a light stretch and sort of build up moments before the game. Some like a good sort of 20-30 minute warm up running shuttles. So I think you find what works for you, but equally you have to help the team to get ready, get the sort of practice around the moves or perhaps the areas of the field that you were struggling in the last game. Just refine a few things here and there. Don't be too overcomplicated, and sort of make sure that everyone's ready for that starting whistle, starting hooter.
Yeah, okay, that's a good point made there. So Greg Cropper on the ball. Oh, turnover on that last touch. I think he had a play plan, but ran out of touches there. The Tigers moving the ball again, looking to sub off, get fresh legs onto the field, which is very vital at this moment. Let's see what the referee's called there. It's like a ball to ground, turnover to the Northwest Blades.
It's that communication, isn't it? And the sub on, sub off. There's few players going off, few players going on. There's been a lot of drop balls in those first 6 minutes.
Yeah, there's been a few, but hopefully with plenty of time to maybe iron out some of these plays. Get acceleration there by Cropper. Let's see what happens here. Oh, the faintest of touches there on Ratchford, Stefan Ratchford there, trying to make an ambitious dive to the line. Let's see what they set up here.
Well, they're not on the last touch, otherwise the referee would have his hand up, so they must be close to it.
Looks like they're close. Acceleration there by Ratchford. Cropper with the big pass. Oh, that interception again. And I know in previous tournaments we've talked about the difficulty of having to defend repeat sets of 6. It's hard, it's tiring, it's tough. So let's see if the Midlands Tigers can hold out the Northwest Blades. A good touch there, made by Neil Guess. The Blades definitely trying to work the mids of the Midlands Tigers hard, trying to set up that opening. Well, he's got through that gap.
Oh, unlucky. Stretching to catch it, just out of his reach.
Just couldn't quite make that stick, didn't quite get the right angle on that catch. Ching opportunity. So Tigers now looking to drive out of their own half. Good acceleration there. Yeah, it seems like they've made it close to the halfway line fairly comfortably. Let's see what they can set up from this opportunity. Oh,
well, it's another turnover. We're 8 minutes in here. We haven't got a score yet.
I know we've seen a lot of free-flowing games today, high-scoring games. So slightly different sitting here in the commentary box, seeing a nil after 8 minutes, but still plenty of time for both teams to maybe set something up. Clever little play by Samuel Ratchford there. He's got a good show and go there. He's very convincing with that. Always seems to sell that dummy and people fall for it. Samuel on the ball again. That pass made. Good touches there. Good strong defence by the Tigers, are making sure that they hold out the Northwest Blades. Who look like they're now again trying to sub, get fresh legs onto the pitch here. A little bit of miscommunication there. All basketball play.
Oh, very nice. Another one.
Maybe we need the Tigers here to now go forward. They've kind of got that momentum again.
Scoop, maybe. Here he goes. It's on here.
Seems like they've got a 2-on-1. Oh,
unlucky.
But they're always quite difficult catches to make stick there.
Yeah.
James Stewart on the trying to make that catch stick, but unfortunately not able to do so. But immediately the Midlands Tigers get the ball back from about 8 metres away from the Northwest Blades line. It looks like they'll be trying to make them pay for that mistake.
He's given it.
Oh, he's given that.
Around the hammer.
Very agile play there. He seemed to slip through that on the replay. Just kind of stuck in the mud there, the Northwest player there, and a lovely finish there for the Northwest Blades, for the Midlands Tigers, sorry, which takes the score to 1-0 after 10 minutes, but still plenty of time remaining in this game.
Well, let's see if this opens the floodgates for a few tries now. They're obviously going to stick to their game plans, but let's see how we go. Here might be one.
Oh, I know that's the Northwest Blades would have been very keen to score that return try straight away. Let's see what the Midlands Tigers can do from here. Good pace there on touch one.
They came all the way over to the far side there.
That's been given as a looks like it's been given as an overstep there. Ball, the player unfortunately not stopping in the correct place. He was actually touched, so possession goes back to the Northwest Blades, who look like they're running a bit of a backdoor move. Again, Cropper on the ball, trying to set something up. Lots of options.
The dumper
He's
didn't
tried to
split
hit
right,
foot.
did he?
Yeah,
Fast enough. He
unfortunately,
didn't have
it seems,
anywhere to go.
Again, that communication side there, maybe just letting the Northwest Blades down. Maybe players not quite talking to each other in the middle.
Here comes Outlaws, as we call it. Oh, but something's...
But again, it seems there's overstepping. The referee's very hot on the not letting them get away with anything really in terms of overstepping. And that's the second time they've been penalised for that infringement, which just puts more pressure on the defence.
Oh, lovely step. He's given it.
Referee's given that Cropper a strong dive in between. Probably what you might class as two tired defenders. They've had to defend almost 2 repeat sets of 6 due to various infringements, and it's difficult at that level to constantly have to defend.
Yeah, I mean, he took a really nice line at the start. He turned the 2 mids inwards, and then that allowed him on the quickie to get outside of that far side mid and in for the score. So
Cropper levels the score to 1-1 in this game. Let's see if the Midlands Tigers can launch an attack and reply back immediately.
Trying to pull the mids around.
Again, Ashley Usden on the ball, trying to orchestrate plays in the middle there. Looks like they're trying to set him up for ball to ground there. Seems like that's a firm pass to him. You can see he's just making a slight gesture of discomfort on his hands there. Ball thrown firmly at him. But again, both teams errors with placing the ball.
Yeah, there's a lot of, my first year at this sort of level, a lot of emphasis on winning that ruck, and in that instance, he didn't get the ball down firmly and didn't have a good body position, and it resulted in him dropping it.
And the referee's called a play through on that, and the try has been given. Again, Ashley Houston just straight down the middle, offside player there, not retreating back the full 5 metres to the try line, and just an opportunity to play through. And really good try there, taking the score to 2-1 for the Midlands Tigers.
He was very close to being onside there. I think he looked quite disappointed with that, but I think a yard probably off from being onside.
Yeah, it seemed a tight call, but probably the right decision there. Again, Cropper there trying to orchestrate a attack for the Northwest Blades. All ball to ground, and a swipe there by Alex Crickon, who's swiped the ball down. So that gives the Northwest Blades a fresh set of 6 there.
See what they've got up their sleeve. I expect Greg will be in the
thick of things.
Yep. Forward pass.
Yeah, forward pass has been given there. Handing the ball back to the Blades, who will look to run, play a driving play down the far side of the field, the left-hand side of the field.
Nice
they looks like they're getting fresh legs on, some very firm touches going on. Looks like they're trying to set up a opportunity to scoop. Refs called final play. But that seems to have pitted out that attack there, with Ashley Houston being caught in possession of the ball. The Blades now looking to launch a counter-attack.
They may not have scored, but they made good yards, didn't they? So it makes it more difficult for Northwest Blades to get out from their own half.
Yeah, you always... maybe the next best thing to not scoring is to make sure you put plenty of metres onto the ball. A bit of a static play now by the Blades. They seem to have been a little bit caught in the middle there. Let's see if they can just regain the momentum of this attack. Well,
good hands just off the screen.
Yeah, good hands. I thought that was a very firm pass there, but he managed to catch it. So turnover, possession going back to the Northwest. Sorry, the Midlands Tigers, but I think the referee might intervene there with what seemed like a very a firm play of the ball, trying to dominate the ruck there. just speaking to there for the Midlands Tigers. I think that's Alex Richmond who maybe did a firm play there. So the Blades now trying to launch an attack.
Offside.
So offside there, looks like a deviation. Foul play is retreating the 5 metre line, well, retreating back 5 metres, but not holding their line. They retreated on.
Trying to quickly right, he's come back to his other mid, and is he in? A touch made.
Again, the faintest to touch. Good defensive skills being showed there by the Midlands Tigers. Can they hold out the Blades? Big pass made there. Oh.
I think that was their third touch, maybe.
They had a few. It looks like they had a few to play with, but fortune favours the brave, as they say.
Or the Blades.
Or the Blades. So good yardage made on touch 2. Touch 3. The Midlands Tigers have plenty to play with here as they've entered deep into the Blades half. Scoop on. Pass made, but a clear touch made on the winger there, James Stewart.
I was unlucky. It was a great injection of speed from number 5 there for Midland Tigers. Really got some good yardage, got the defence on the back foot.
Yeah, there seems to be good pace. It's maybe that final play. Both teams maybe just need to work on executing some of their plans here.
Don't forget the pill. You need that. Almost left it on the floor.
So Northwest Blades just trying to set something up. They've had a difficult time getting out of the half. Couple of plays still in the locker. Well, that's a turnover there with the 2 minutes left of the first half.
2-1 to Tigers.
But with the ball going to ground there. I thought there was a touch on that, the faintest of touch, but no. Possession goes back to the Northwest Blades. Looks like they're just trying to set something up.
Minute and a half till.
Again, Samuel Ratchford just trying to orchestrate a play, working together with Greg Cropper. A very deliberate play here. Oh, Cropper just for the gap, but unfortunately nobody able to quite successfully catch that ball, thrown to maybe the link or wing, we're not sure there. So Tigers, let's see if they can maybe score one more before we go into half-time. Always great to score just before the buzzer, if you can.
Yeah, like any sport, if you can get one just before half-time, it really puts a change in the mentality coming in for half-time.
So Tigers just trying to set up one more play before half-time. Oh, the gap!
Oh, unlucky.
Ratchford there just trying to go for the interception, but not quite able to make it stick. So ball to ground, possession goes back to the Midlands Tigers with a fresh set of 6.
10 seconds to go.
Let's see what they can set up.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, referee's call. That's a lovely try. Scored on the hooter, taking the score to, please, if we can, Midlands Tigers taking the score to 3-1.
Let's have a look at the replay, shall we?
Oh, lovely play there.
The hammer that they scored earlier in the half, they've scored again.
And that is David Durney scoring a brilliant touchdown there to take us into 3-1. Midlands Tigers currently leading 3-1. We just pause there for half-time and we return back to live commentary in a moment.
boys are playing incredibly well. They're better than I've ever seen them play. We haven't used the full extent of our playbook, predominantly due to the weather conditions, which is a slight shame. But they're doing their basics incredibly well, getting us down the park and getting us into a scoring situation almost every driving step. The thing for me is really the team cohesion. That winning these games, winning gold was never the goal for these boys. My goal for them was to get as many of the age-appropriate lads into the men's open training squad for 2020. And it's just fantastic to watch some of them really click, really start to play to their full potential. And I'm going to work very hard with the men's open coaches to make sure the boys that are of an appropriate age get a shot at the opens level.
It's been tough, but the result is exactly what we wanted. I'm incredibly proud. It was a really good campaign, and we've been very blessed with a very good cohesive team that has all worked together incredibly well, but couldn't have done anything without the assistant coaches of Keish and Catherine and Matt managing, and all the background help from the high performance team and Pippa. 13 debutants is probably a record for any junior touch team. I think I lost quite a few of the kids from last year, went up into 18s, managed to hang on to 3. The team just gelled straight away. We got working with lots of teamwork, and they just did brilliantly.
Bronze first year, then we've had silver last year, and then we've done it. We've finally got the gold. So I could not be more proud of such an amazing group, and so much youth and talent in that team. We've got 3 14-year-olds winning mixed 18s. It's incredible. Like, the future for England Touch is, it starts here, and it's looking really, really bright.
Business as usual, I must say. I'm quoting Sammy Phillips, High Performance, who has just said that, we've been professional throughout the whole tournament. They have so much self-belief, and they absolutely love working for their team and putting on that England jersey.
Couldn't be happier. This has been a sensational weekend for England Touch. 4 gold medals. I think we've never achieved that before at JTC, and we're ecstatic. It shows that our high performance programme is working, and the athletes we're starting to create are fantastic, and we're so proud of them. Absolutely incredible to be unbeaten at championships in every division. So hats off to our coaching team and to the athletes themselves for producing such an outstanding result.
So we're returning back to the action in what is quite a gripping game at the moment. We've got the Northwest Blades currently trailing 3-1 Midlands Tigers, 3-1 in the lead. So will it be the comeback, or will the Tigers go on to victory? Both teams a really important game in terms of gaining points in the men's 30s competition. So Northwest Blades starting off the game. Greg Cropper getting his hands on the ball to Ratchford.
The next try could be crucial. I think if the Blades get it, they're right back in it. If the Wildcats get it, then they're also going to be increasing their lead.
Well, we've seen this season there's plenty of time for teams to come back. I mean, teams have come back from bigger deficits than 2-0 down. Oh, that's a lovely pass back inside.
Just got him.
But just got him. The faintest of touches there.
Slither of the T-shirt, that one, I think.
On Bruce Hine-Bailey. Or pass made to the wingers, but touch made. The Midlands Tigers now regain possession. Let's see whether they can drive it out of their half. They'll be wanting to really make it a good start to the second half of this game. Just to ease the nerves as well, I guess. If you can make that positive start to the second half and maybe extend the lead, it just gives you the opportunity maybe to feel a little bit more confident with the remainder of the game.
Absolutely, yeah. The Blades might be forcing a few other things, knowing that they're a few scores behind.
Oh, the interception there.
The big mitten, he almost pulled it in.
Samuel Ratchford, if he'd been able to make that stick, that would have been interesting to see whether he could have made it to the other end of the field and scored a try. We'll never know. But the Midlands Tigers regain possession, a fresh set of 6. And now on to touch 2. Just trying to drag the midfield players out.
Probably a sweeper here. Oh no,
Looks
he's
like
come with a hammer.
Trying to set up
He's in.
Oh, the shot. And that's been scored there.
Well done.
By the Midlands Tigers. A real successful try. Let's just see the replay back on this. Yeah, good angle made there. And number 14, Alex Krikorian, scoring a lovely try off a move sometimes we know as the short, or I think he called it the hammers there. I know there's various names given to teams, given to that move.
I think you're right. Yeah, that was a short rather than hammer on the link. Yeah,
I know it is a short.
He's just being polite to me. But I think the other 2 scores they had were hammers. So I think I was just reflecting on their previous scores.
So that extends the lead to 4-1 for the Midlands Tigers. A good strong run down the middle of the field.
Touch and pass.
Yeah, the touch and pass being given there. Maybe the Midlands Tigers not quite aware of that play. The referee's call there.
Yeah, he snuck off on his blind side quite nicely there and got him just before he let go of the ball.
So the Northwest Blades there. Let's see if they can score that returning try. Maybe to make the game 4-2. A good run there by Stefan Redfern. Yeah, just the ball spending a bit of time on the ground. Looks like they may have just miscounted how many touches they had remaining on that play. With the Midland Tigers now getting control of the ball again. Oh, on touch 2, the ball's gone to ground there. That's always, I guess it's described as a coach's nightmare. When the ball goes to ground on touch 2, it just forces you to defend even harder. Oh, he was through the gap, but unfortunately not able to make that pass quite stick there. That's Stefan Redfern there, unfortunately not able to keep control of the ball. So the Tigers now just driving the ball out.
Looks like a little bit of fatigue is creeping into both sides there, as we've seen a few drop balls early on in the touch count.
That's difficult, I guess, with the pace of the game. I mean, I do think both teams are playing quite quickly at the moment, so eager to score.
Lovely scoop.
Nice scoop there.
Oh, came back to the defender. Has he got it down? A touch made.
Ball to ground, so Greg Cropper really keen to get control of the ball, get on with the play. Again, the Blades looking to get fresh legs off. You can see players pointing to take the ball forward, but again the ball not being placed accurately onto the ground there, and the ball bobbling away, which means possession going back to the Midlands Tigers.
Similar start to this half that we had to the first half. Both teams trying to, catch the break and very close to scoring on both ends of the fields, but we haven't quite got the first score of the second half just yet.
Is it a case of both teams maybe being a little bit too ambitious? They seem very eager to sort of make these plays. Oh, found the winger, lovely hands, and a lovely try scored by the winger there. That's just a fluent play, just through the hands. Lovely pass made, and the 2-on-1, and that's a try scored there. By the number 9 Neil Burgess in the corner to stretch the lead even further for the Midlands Tigers, taking it to 5-1.
Or 4-1.
We'll double check on the score. Well, 5-1 just to confirm the score for you. So Northwest Blades, I'm sure, will be keen to try and score a try as soon as possible. But the Tigers just being a bit more fluent in attack. Oh.
Good pace on this attack.
Yeah, good pace on this attack. Let's see if they can maybe make something work on this final play. Ambitious pass, and he's in again.
Oh, lovely pass.
Lovely pass. And that's 2 from 2 there for the Midlands Tigers. That's Neil Burgess again scoring a try in the corner. The all clear signal given by the referee. Extending the lead now to 6-1.
Passing off the stronger hand, right to left. They've got 2 in quick succession there in the left corner. Very well finished that.
Yeah, really good finish there, especially when there's a little bit of air on the ball. It always can be a bit of a juggling act to make sure they stick. So Cropper on the ball, trying to orchestrate a play. The Blades will be looking to see if they can maybe score a few more tries, just to maybe sort of narrow the lead. Currently being enjoyed by the Midlands Tigers. Cropper there, big ambitious pass.
Lovely pass.
Lovely pass. And a try there scored by number 17 for the Northwest Blades. Yeah, a bit of air put onto the ball and comfortably able to make that stick. So that narrows the score to 6-2, but the Midlands Tigers still have a fairly big lead at the moment. Oh, but ball going to ground there. So the Blades will be very keen to launch this comeback.
I think they've got the skill set in there. They've definitely looked dangerous, haven't they?
Certainly got the skill set and plenty of time left in this game. Again, we've seen throughout the season, scores, teams trailing and suddenly leading. So certainly plenty of opportunities to come back. But the Blades may need to make better usage of their 6 touches in order to make that comeback a reality. Let's see what the Blades can do here.
Lovely hands.
Oh, lovely hands, and he's got through. A lovely run there by Rob Budd there.
Reminds me a little bit of Sevens there, with the referee keeping up with the scorer, just to make sure he got it down.
The only people able to keep up with play were the referees, who chased him all the way back. But a lovely try there by Rob Budd. I think he caught everybody by surprise there. Good acceleration.
Just when we thought the tide might have been turning, the Wildcats have come back. Tigers, sorry, have come back and made it 7-2.
Yes, extending that lead to 5 tries. It's looking difficult for the Blades to come back into this game, but I'm sure they will be wanting to narrow that score. Cropper on the ball. Yes, the referee's just called a touch on that. Again, the faintest of touches, but they all count. You can see Cropper here again trying to set something up. Oh, but unfortunately, looks like a bit of miscommunication there in the midfield to link combinations, with the ball going to ground.
Yeah, they had last touch. I think they maybe were trying to kill the ball on this side as far away from the attacking box as they could, but as you say, ball went to ground.
Yeah, with the purpose being to make it difficult for the Midlands Tigers players to sub or force them to really sub the long way, shall we say. But good acceleration again. You can see they're buoyed up really by this this lead. It seems to really
nice tackle there.
Got them going, but a good touch there by Cropper on the inside. He managed to make that stick. So touch 1 there for the Blades. Touch 2. Touch 3. You can see the fresh legs sweeping on in the background. Touch 4. Let's see whether they can do something with this this final play. It's like they're trying to set up the scoop. Oh. Yeah, good defence.
Great cover defence, wasn't it?
Yeah, good cover defence.
Potentially. Yeah, he's come across. Oh, potentially it was the mid, but yeah, great cover defence.
It looks like the Blades have been given a fresh set of 6 there for a deviation. Especially on the last, they're always difficult ones to give away. You're trying to avoid those, I guess, as a player, giving away penalties or forward or foul infringements on that last play.
Yeah, it really hurts when you give it away on the last there, and you've got a fresh set of 6. You think you've done the job, and then you've got to start it all again.
So the Blades with a couple of plays left in the locker. Looks like they're trying to go this narrow side, but the Tigers' defence is very much holding out. But again, it looks like the referee giving a call of a deviation. Yes, again, so that's another set of 6 for the Blades. You can see they're trying to isolate these midfield players, maybe get the outside run on them. Good patience being shown by the Blades here at the moment. Trying to work the opening there. That's James Stewart trying to orchestrate something, having a run there. Stewart again on the ball. Cropper looking for that pass, and it opens.
Great line, that.
Yeah, really good line. Zach Romanu there. That line just seemed to open up. They did a lot of hard work on those initial touches to try and set that up. But once that gap was open, they made sure they took full advantage of that. So that now narrows the scores to 7-3 with about 7 minutes remaining in the game. So I'm sure at this stage, what would be the strategy for the Midlands Tigers? Is it just to hold on to this lead, play it out, game management?
Absolutely, yeah. As long as they're in possession, obviously the other team can't score. If they can add a score or 2 with possession, obviously that's going to be of significant benefit. But it seems like they're getting down to the 5-metre line of the opponents most times. So that seems to be putting them in good stead with 5 and a bit minutes to go. Yeah,
you almost need to. The Blades will almost need to score on every attack now to realistically work a draw into this game. And slight confusion here on the pitch won't help matters.
Yep, the clock is ticking.
The clock is very much ticking.
Fresh set of 6, about 10 metres out.
So the Tigers regain control of the ball here. And they've scored.
They've just opened up for him.
Just again, it's just good play. They've seem to be making these channels, drawing the right people out. Let's just look on the replay. That's a short there. Mismatches in defence. And Alex Kriakuran, scoring a lovely try off the short. And that really should probably secure the game for the Midlands Tigers.
Showed a lot of patience there. He came on a good line with some good speed. He's checked his speed, looked up, and then obviously saw the gap and finished well.
So the Blades now on attack here. Cropper putting the acceleration onto the ball. They will get a fresh set of 6 with a failed interception there. by the Midlands Tigers. So Cropper, you can see he's just trying to stretch out the play.
Thought about the long ball.
You could see he was lining up that long pass there, but maybe chose the wise decision with plenty of touches remaining. You can see a sweeper in the background.
There's the long ball.
But not unfortunately able to quite make that ball stick. So the Tigers will surely just drive the ball out onto touch 2. You can see again the fresh legs coming onto the field into the background, on the background. Tigers with all the momentum at the moment. Good scoop there. Ooh. He almost kind of sidestepped himself, but you could see he was trying to work that deviation.
Yeah, it was a bit of desperation at the end, but he's got the penalty.
That's Ashley Houston there on the ball, but managed to get the penalty. Again, good communication. You can see the players on the Tigers trying to... Big pass made, and they've made it
pass.
stick.
Is it forward?
The referees... That's what the referee signalled. That's fine.
Yep.
And the try is given there. Something out of nothing, but they've made it. Made it stick. That's Neil Burgess again. He scored the hat-trick during this game. Three similar tries, really. He's worked 3 similar tries in this game today.
I think that was one of those ones where the ball left out the back of the hands, even though he left his hands near the 5 and he caught it near the try line. And
it's a skill in itself just to sort of score those sort of tries, especially when the ball is torpedoing at you, and you've got to make it stick for your team. Oh, Cropper just touched before he could place the ball down. But the referee's given a fresh set of 6 there to the Northwest Blades. But ball to ground. Again, the faintest of intercepts there. With the ball going to ground there.
I don't think they run that move yet. An interplay between the mids almost came off on the first touch. And it looks like the all clear has been given by the assistant referee. Lovely ball off his left this time.
Yeah, good finish there. Again, more of a consolation try there for the Northwest Blades at this stage of the game, but they all do count. That takes a score to 4-9. So a minute left in this game. I'm sure the Tigers will be wanting to just manage the touches so that they can reach the end of the game. Again, very deliberate play now by the Midlands, not needing to force anything. Over to the referee. The referee's thinking about it. He's given a fresh set of 6. They asked a question. So touch 1.
10 seconds to go.
So been a really good game to watch as we wait for the buzzer, the hooter to go, with the Midlands Tigers winning that game. Well, this game, 9-4. So that's a 9-4 victory to the Midlands Tigers. Thank you, Johnny Alkin, for joining us to co-commentate on this game. We wish you the best of luck going forward.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Cheers, sir.
The boys are playing incredibly well. they're better than I've ever seen them play. We haven't used the full extent of our playbook, predominantly due to the weather conditions, but it's a slight shame. But they're doing their basics incredibly well, getting us down the park and getting us into a scoring situation almost every driving set. The thing for me is really the team cohesion. That winning these games, winning gold was never the goal for these boys. My goal for them was to get as many of the age-appropriate lads into the men's open training squad for 2020. And it's just fantastic to watch some of them really click, really start to play to their full potential. And I'm going to work very hard with the men's open coaches to make sure the boys that are of an appropriate age get a shot at the opens level.
It's been tough, but the result is exactly what we wanted. I'm incredibly proud. It was a really good campaign, and we've been very blessed with a very good cohesive team that has all worked together incredibly well, but couldn't have done anything without the assistant coaches of Keish and Catherine and Matt managing, and all the background help from the high performance team and Pippa. 13 debutants is probably a record for any junior touch team. I think I lost quite a few of the kids from last year, went up into 18s, managed to hang on to 3. The team just gelled straight away. We got working with lots of teamwork, and they just did brilliantly.
Bronze first year, and then we've had silver last year, and then we've done it. Finally got the gold. So I could not be more proud of such an amazing group and so much youth and talent in that team. We've got 3 14-year-olds winning mixed 18s. It's incredible. Like, the future for England Touch is, it starts here, and it's looking really, really bright.
Business as usual, I must say. I'm quoting Sammy Phillips, High Performance, who has just said that, we've been professional throughout the whole tournament. They have so much self-belief, and they absolutely love working for their team and putting on that England jersey.
Couldn't be happier. This has been a sensational weekend for England Touch. 4 gold medals. I don't think we've never achieved that before at JTC, and we're ecstatic. It shows that our high performance program is working, and the athletes we're starting to create are fantastic, and we're so proud of them. Absolutely incredible to be unbeaten at championships in every division. So hats off to our coaching team and to the athletes themselves for producing such an outstanding result.
You have 30 seconds warning. Please, when your pitch is ready to play. Players and officials, stand by.
So welcome back then to the Riverside Sports Complex, the 2019 Nationals, Seniors and Masters. And we now move on to the men's 45s, our penultimate game of the day as the Northwest Blades take on the Northeast Raiders, all Northern affair. You're joined by myself, Bradley Hope, and Steve Cleary for this one. Well, Steve, this potentially could have an interesting match at the 2 northern sides going up against each other.
Yeah, it's not raining, so they might not like that. But, yeah, on paper, the Northwest looks stronger to me, but you never know. they've had a few games, they could be tiring.
Yeah, we saw them in action, the Northwest Blades against the Midland Tigers earlier on in the day in a 4-all thriller, as you'd say.
So they seem to be slowing it down on the halfway line, but they are now they're putting some pace on it.
Let's see what they can do with this one. Just loops out to the left. It's odd decision, really, to go that early.
I'm not sure what that was, yeah.
They're just trying to find their feet in the game and try and work themselves in. Just coming into your picture now over the halfway line. The Northwest Blades pushing on forward. Let's see what they can do from this real meaningful attack. Lovely little layoff.
Dump, second phase, pass.
Trying to spread it to the left-hand side, just intercepted.
That was there if they'd have gone quicker on the second phase, but they've got 6 more, so this will be interesting to see how they move them around now.
It was Ben Scott with that interception then. Now with the Blades looking to try and get towards the line. Jeffrey Brimson, the number 6.
Obviously setting something up. Yeah, they're running the sweep. I'm not sure how much space they've got out there though. Not enough is the answer. Still got probably 2 touches, so they could set something up or come back in for the quickie that they were trying earlier.
Yeah. Got time to work with, a few more touches to play with now. Robert Byrne, the number 22, the oldest amongst the Northwest Blades squad.
So they were looking for that trailer ball there, but they'd had it all day, so as soon as he turned there and saw there was someone else in his passing lane, he ran out of options.
Tim Shields, the number 1 for the Northwest Blades. Getting towards their subs box, fresh faces coming on.
Again, driving's just stalled there, they've got to get... We must be on 4th or 5th on the halfway line here, yeah. They have to do something.
That was Wilson laying it off and now out towards the wing. Good link-up play there.
That's not bad. If they can kill the ball there, then they force the other team to pass it 2 or 3 across the field. You'd normally have a set play to get yourself off the field, but see what they do.
Yeah, it's Paul Ainscough and Tony Lewis linking up there. Good pressure early on from the North East Raiders, and they look to have won the ball back.
So there you go. You killed the ball in the corner. You forced them to play a couple of passes, which they weren't concentrating on, and now you've got 6 on the line, so it's a good opportunity.
Craig Onatchi just trying to get towards the 5 metre. Strange decisions though.
Wasn't really sure he'd taken that then, but he obviously did.
Just being forced back and really slowing things down, and they need to really be a bit more direct, attack the line.
Yeah, they need to, this is good. They've got some width here. If they can see, they've got the link up. They pass around the link. That's good. Oh, execution there. They did everything right. They had strong link, so this link had come up, and they didn't. That was effectively called an A, where you just pass around that link, bounce outside them. You've got the overlap, but you've got to execute it.
Again, running diagonal, just not making up any yards, but getting over towards the subs box. But being put under real pressure from the North East Raiders. And some interesting loose passes. It's that dangerous to be giving away there.
I'm not sure what that was.
It's all kind of a bit loose, a bit scrappy so far. In the last couple of minutes. Still remains scoreless in the opening 5.
A strong sideways run there. On last. I think he was looking for someone.
Yeah, Dunk Mascarenhas, number 4.
That was quite a long way off the mark. He disagrees. If he'd have been any further off the mark, he would have been in the truck that we're sitting in.
Yeah, it wasn't it. Wasn't a hard one to spot for the referees. Just a bit of, feels like a bit of confusion and not too sure what they're trying to run here, the Northwest Blades. Spreading it left to right, trying to stretch the defence, but it all seems a bit confusing.
Yeah, this is what I tell my team. If you run an even number of switches, everyone ends up in the same position. So you haven't created any overlap, and they've run a perfect sort of 2 or 4 switch move there, and they're all staying in the same place.
Oh, the turnover, and neither side is showing signs of real quality to get over the line. It seems a bit rushed. No coloration between the moves.
Yeah, if it stays like this, I don't think we need to go out and buy more numbers for the scoreboard.
Nathan Cole just quickly laying it off. Gareth Bell looking to try and get into the corner.
So this must be 4th or 5th, so I think this will be 5th coming if they need to set something up, a scoop or something here, but you have to find a half.
Well, there was the on-running Ben Scott just coming around the left and went on the same wavelength, just slightly ahead of him, and well, really risky play from the Northwest Blades. They're making it difficult for themselves inside their own half.
It shows you how important the transition and the drive is, because you can't score if you don't get in the other side of the field, and neither of these teams are driving well enough to give them any touches when they get to the other end. So the Northwest have got 6 more now. Let's see what they can do.
Yeah, really good opportunity for the Northwest Blades to utilise these fresh set of 6. Let's see if they can do just that. Going for the corner.
That's going to be forward pass, yeah. Yeah, they're taking the outside, that's right, but then they just need to take the touch and set back the other direction when it doesn't work.
Nathan Cole just laying it off, and he's come off to the subs box after a loose pass, and again another good opportunity for the Northwest Blades with this set of 6. Let's see if they can use it this time. Seemed reluctant to do so the last time. Good diagonal movements, but again a block, and
there's a lot of sideways, but they're all there's no width. So if you got the mid and the link, yeah. So this guy's going to come over on the link here. That will create some space, but you need to create the space first, and they've got the touches to do it.
Chris Holtz in the middle now on the ball. Holt again, just getting it back, looking to go through himself. And again, frustration for the Northwest Blades. Paul Nolan, the number 16, is also in your picture there with Holt.
Yeah, this is a sweep with the
Nolan trying to go through. Well, has it been given? It looks like it has. Well, out of nothing, the referees have confirmed it. Let's have another.
I think he went over the line and forgot to put the ball down, and then remembered to put the ball down, and no one had touched him in the intervening period, and therefore he scored.
So 10 minutes gone, and the Northwest Blades have the first score of the game. And well, it's a bemusement of quite a lot of people around the pitch and here in the commentary box as well. But we do have our first score confirmed. Northwest Blades leading by 1-0 in a game which has feels a bit slow and no sense of really the communication and flow to it. But there we go, the Blades, Northeast Raiders, I should say, looking to try and respond. Adrian Williams, the number 1 for the North East Raiders. Some chat going on between the two referees. Are they going to give this?
I think she's waiting to see if the sideline ref saw anything, because if she's not signalled the touch, but she hasn't signalled, that's going to be a score.
It certainly is. So we're 1 apiece. Well, what an incredible last couple of minutes. Well, 1 apiece, and we waited 9.5 minutes for a try, and 2 have come in quick succession. That's in a rather strange circumstances for both. It's almost like the referees have undecided as much as the players what's going on at the moment.
That's 2. Well, certainly the first one was, I'm still not sure what happened. I think the second one, I think the mid must have been offside.
Northwest Blades heading for the line again, looking to respond. Oh, a lovely placement down with the right hand, and it looks like they've got it. They have. The Blades 2-1 up. Well, they're coming thick and fast now.
Yeah, so that's just attacking the outside shoulder. His link hasn't helped him there by stepping in. If the link stays out, then that's an easier score for Jeff. I think that was Jeff. But that's just attacking the outside shoulder. When you get on the outside shoulder, you're going to score, or you will create the space for someone else to score.
North East Raiders now for the opportunity to try and respond over the 5-metre mark, just almost in a standoff position now, having pushed back just when they're in a really good opportunity to go for the line as well.
I think you don't need all 3 of them there. So they've gone for the sweep.
Yeah.
Gap snap back in the middle. Oh.
Paul Ainscough there, just to the left of him, Ian Moody. Here is Ainscough again. Moody just to the right, and out on that wing is Tony Lewis. And again, real mix-up. North East Raiders communication just not there. Do you think it's coming to the end of the day and maybe mental tiredness, physical fatigue kicking in a bit?
Well, I think there's definitely an element of that, although I'm not sure they have a game plan. Lovely dummy there. No one's actually moved forward though, so it doesn't really count. Just driving ball forward is going to get you. Here we go.
Maybe some space to try and attack. Good quick hands, but equally good defence, and that's the 6th and final touch. So turnover again. Northwest Blades.
Slightly better. You're starting on your line and finishing on their line. That's not bad from a drive.
Pushing on towards halfway.
It's way off the mark again.
Tony Lewis, yeah, brought back. He spotted it, and the referees did as well. Northwest Blades looking to try and maybe extend this lead again. Over the 10-metre mark they come. Oh, it's really sloppy play for the Northwest Blades, but they've still got the chance to attack, have they? Well, the referee, total
must
confusion.
be a penalty. They must have got a penalty there because they dropped it.
Trying to stretch his defence. Look at this on-running. Number 22, Robert Bryn, but going for the line, the Blades, and they've got it.
Outside shoulder. So they're just running that very simple dump split, outside shoulder dive. It works.
Jeffrey Brimson going in over the line, got the dive in. Now with under 5 minutes to go in the first half, have a 2-point advantage. There's Nathan Cole. Gareth Bell is also there. Cole just laying it off then. Nathan Cole picking up, Bell, them two linking up nicely as they look to drive for the line. Bit of energy, bit of a hop, skip and a jump to try and get through. Bill Lees is there.
How many touches they've got here? They need to do something. Yep, so they're going for exactly the same play. They're going for the quickie. Instead of going for the outside, they're stepping back in, but they got it.
And they have. Gareth Bell just going over the line. It was on their final touch as well.
So that's exactly the same move. That's just the mid dump and then target the outside shoulder. Defender overcommits, dive on the inside.
So another really tight affair then for the Northwest Blades. They were in a game that, a low-scoring game in the standards of touch rugby, with the Midlands Tigers, but it finished 4 apiece. Blades looking to try and respond again. It feels like they've just sort of woken up and taken the shackles off a bit, the Northwest Blades, looking to try and attack the line.
Yeah, and they've got 6 more now because they touched it, so dumping out, attacking the short side.
And space opened up on the wing. That was a great take and an easy finish in the end.
So outside shoulder, dump, split. Yeah, as soon as that winger bites in, then you've scored.
Paul Nolan going over the line for the Northwest Blades. Really good work from the guys in purple and black. But let's see how the North East Raiders respond. They've seemed to respond most times in the last 5 or so minutes. Adrian Williams is there in the middle, alongside Jared Hargreaves as well. Here's Williams and Hargreaves in the middle, almost changing the entire team every couple of minutes just to keep the squad fresh and the energy levels high.
Oh, that was a good touch. They didn't give him much chance to go anywhere there.
Yep, 6th and final touch, so no score for the North East Raiders. There's just under a minute and a half to go until the break. Important now for the Raiders not to try and let the Blades get that 3-point advantage going to the half-time interval. But Northwest Blades with a bit of a buzz around their play now. I seem to say that's slowing things down, it's sad.
Got 2 to set up, I think. Well, this could be last.
Looking to get over the line.
This is last, so they're killing it in the corner.
Well, going into the final minute then. Fresh faces coming on, pushing on over towards halfway. Julian Wilson.
It's 5th.
Oh, they're going to use this. Wilson laying it off. It's Ian Moody. Good work. Oh, but it's not going to get them any further.
Yeah, it was 6th touch.
And there goes the hooter. And there is half-time then between the Northwest Blades and the North East Raiders. And it is the Blades who lead by 4 points to 2 going into the break. It was a frustrating half for both sides. They just couldn't get going. But the Blades have the advantage going in at half-time. We'll be back in a couple of moments.
The boys are playing incredibly well. They're better than I've ever seen them play. We haven't used the full extent of our playbook, predominantly due to the weather conditions, but it's a slight shame. But they're doing their basics incredibly well, getting us down the park and getting us into a scoring situation almost every driving step. The thing for me is really the team cohesion. That winning these games, winning gold was never the goal for these boys. My goal for them was to get as many of the age-appropriate lads into the men's open training squad for 2020. And it's just fantastic to watch some of them really click, really start to play to their full potential. And I'm going to work very hard with the men's open coaches to make sure the boys that are of an appropriate age get a shot at the opens level.
It's been tough, but the result is exactly what we wanted. I'm incredibly proud. It was a really good campaign, and we've been very blessed with a very good cohesive team that has all worked together incredibly well, but couldn't have done anything without the assistant coaches of Keish and Catherine and Matt managing, and all the background help from the high performance team and Pippa. 13 debutants is probably a record for any junior touch team. I think I lost quite a few of the kids from last year, went up into 18s, managed to hang on to 3. The team just gelled straight away. We got working with lots of teamwork, and they just did brilliantly.
Bronze first year, and then we've had silver last year, and then we've done it. We've finally got the gold, so I could not be more proud of such an amazing group and so much youth and talent in that team. We've got 3 14-year-olds winning mixed 18s. It's incredible. Like, the future for England Touch is, it starts here, and it's looking really, really bright.
Business as usual, I must say. I'm quoting Sammy Phillips, High Performance, who has just said that, we've been professional throughout the whole tournament. They have so much self-belief, and they absolutely love working for their team and putting on that England jersey.
Couldn't be happier. This has been a sensational weekend for England Touch. 4 gold medals. I think we've never achieved that before at JTC, and we're ecstatic. It shows that our high performance programme is working, and the athletes we're starting to create are fantastic, and we're so proud of them. Absolutely incredible to be unbeaten at championships in every division. So hats off to our coaching team and to the athletes themselves for producing such an outstanding result.
Players and officials, it's your 30-second warning. Players and officials, it's your 30-second warning. Please get your pitches ready to play. Players and officials, stand by.
So here we go then, second half then between the Northwest Blades and the Northeast Raiders in this men's 45s here.
We've gone for a move, which is one more than they did in the first half. And score? No, they haven't.
Good touch in. Duncan Mascarenas there. Let's try and go in for the line. Oh, they're going to creep in.
They started really well then. They set up for a sweep, they ran a move, and then they just tried, outside shoulder where they were always running into their own space. But it's a good start. They need to score first, really, to stay in this.
Yeah, absolutely. Also just gives them that momentum as well to potentially get back into this game as well. And the Northwest Blades are obviously looking to try and stop that and get a 3-point gap themselves. Just a quick layoff. Good turn of pace away, but can't finish it off.
Brave attempt at the dummy from the winger there that literally no one went for.
Looking to try and get in towards the line. Paul Nolan just on the floor there, but he's back to his feet. Chris Holt, number 3 for the Northwest Blades, just in possession at the moment. Starking his run. Oh, just a poor layoff for Paul Nolan. Just behind the plate. I think that knock might just have maybe been a factor.
I'm not sure what they were trying to do there, just to maybe thought they were trying to bounce out the link, but the strong link wasn't up from the defence, so. They're going to get a forward or off the mark. I guess off the mark because they rolled it. Yeah.
Well, the Northwest Blades, well, they just stride on through. And you're saying, Steve, that the first score potentially could be important. That could be a crucial one for the Northwest Blades.
Yeah, yeah, it's should be relatively simple. They're just attacking the short side and going on the outside shoulder. That should be straightforward for the defence to just a corner. But it's working. It's worked a number of times.
Well, just a quick word, Steve, on how have you got on today with the Tigers? What's your day been like here in Nottingham?
Explosive. No, we've done all right. We had just 6-all draw, and then we won the last game, and then we're playing next up here. So you'll be able to laugh at how slow I am.
I wouldn't even dream of it, Steve.
You should. Everyone else does.
How have you felt? Oh, here we go.
Oh, no, but Jeff had him all day long there.
Let's try and get it through the line.
He's in.
Well, space just opened up, and that's a great response for the North East Raiders.
Short side again, so he's come out, taken on the link on the outside, and he's just beaten the link on the outside. That's simple. That's a nice location. The pitches are all really good. Good spirit. Everyone's playing well. Yeah.
I was just going to ask you, Steve, what do you think in terms of the age groups, in terms of obviously here the Nationals, Seniors and Masters? How much have you seen it develop? How much has it progressed over the years you've been playing or seen it at England Touch?
Yeah, no, everything has come on hugely since I've been playing. So I started playing sort of 30s for England, but yeah, there's a great depth now and extra. Oh, we're going to call that as a touch. Yeah, it's great that we can run 45s, 40s, 35s, 30s, those 4 age categories, whereas previously we would have just had 30s. So there's still some variation in the experience and the quality, but there we go. That's an easy score.
Yeah, well worked from the Northwest Blades, and they find themselves at 6-3 up.
Yeah, so he's just taken on. He just got outside his mid, got the link to bite in, and then his links just run a good line to get the ball.
What's the dynamic like when it comes to the nationals competitions? Because obviously you play in the regions and you get players from different clubs. How does that work? How does in terms of getting the whole team to sort of play in the same direction, play in the way you want to play?
It works very well in my experience, but it does need, you do need to have clear leadership and structure to do that. So what you'll get is groups of players who've played with each other. But actually, what's really nice is when you're playing in and training in groups, then you'll learn and that you work well with other players, and you'll probably play into pods of people you don't necessarily play with on a regional basis, which is quite nice. And it's all very useful, because that's one of the hardest things, is getting the whole squad together if you're going to play up.
Just the final couple of passes there on the 5 metre for the Northwest Blades. Just the ball going astray, and now the North East Raiders looking to try and forge an attack from deep inside their own half.
Away with that one, he was way off the mark there.
Getting up towards the 10 metre mark now. North East Raiders, if they get the next one, that'll just put the pressure back on the Northwest Blades again. Oh, what a fantastic take and dive.
He might have scored that.
They're just having a quick chat, the referees.
No, he might not have been over the line.
That was a brilliant take. And they did well to get down so quickly as well. Looking to go low again.
So they're running that short side. That short side short, which has worked, but you eat up your own space a lot of the time there, which is exactly what you saw. They're just you get to a point where if you're all so crowded that one player can make touches on any 2 or 3 of the opposition.
Well, you might be hearing cheers going on around the Riverside Sports Complex. Plenty of pitches with games going on all the time. Mind, of course, 5 different categories here this weekend. Women's 27s, men's 30s, men's 35s and 40s, women's 35s and men's 45s all in action.
Again, they're just trying to bounce out the link there, but it's not really going to work if you do it like that. Oh, they've called it a forward pass as well.
Just stuck in their own half at the moment, the North East Raiders. They're just creeping over halfway.
Lars is going to have a go, it's down the outside. Offside.
So another go there for the North East Raiders then. Can they use it?
Putting some width on, but they've run into the link. He ideally wants to get the mid to make the touch on him rather than the link. If you let the link... And they're passing out to link to do this ball back in again.
Simon Ince getting the touch in, putting the pressure on. North East Raiders really just slowly going from left to right.
They scored.
Looks like, have they gone through? I don't think the referee's confirmed it. No, he hasn't.
No, he's saying they touched.
Final touch then. What can they do with it? Oh, good pressure from the Northwest Blades. Well, the North East Raiders looking to try and get this next score, just to put cat amongst the pigeons, put the pressure on the Northwest Blades. There's a North East Raiders defence. Compact three there, the two middles and the right link, just putting the pressure on and putting the squeeze on the Northwest Blades, and they've got the ball back. The Raiders need to do something with it now. There's still time, but don't want to be wasteful. To try and get towards the goal area. Turnover now. Northwest Blades looking to try and drive on forward, get towards halfway. Skarenas laying it off. Skarenas again. His brother Martin, number 19 in the picture as well. Are they going to link up? Oh, but well hunted out by the North East Raiders. This is a bit better from the Raiders, looking to try and force that rolling defence on the Northwest Blades. Just push them back every touch they get. But they can't make the most of it. Well, just approaching then the 5 minutes to go mark, and it is the Northwest Blades who have the advantage. It's going to have to be some monumental effort to get this turned around now for the North East Raiders. They're going to have to start now. Craig and Archie in the middle of there alongside number 4, Ian Moody. Here is Moody now. Gerald Hargreaves was there as well, just to the right. Laid off again to Ainscough. Ainscough is there in support. Oh, and it's wasted, is it? It's going to be a score. It is not going to be a score for the North East Raiders. Turned over. And quickly the Northwest Blades looking to try and get over towards their subs box. That was a couple of really quick short passes there from the Blades. Good pressure from the Blades, though, almost penning the North East Raiders deep inside their own half. They're going to have to work really hard to get towards the halfway mark, which they do really well. And in fact, they've earned themselves another fresh set of 6. He's a huge credit to these guys. Some of them edging on 60 years old, who are really putting in the hard yards. Fitness levels being really tested. And huge credit to them. Lovely scoop there from Paul Ainscough, trying to get towards the line. Whipped in back into the centre, but far too close for comfort. And turned over possession. Good yards made up, spreading it to the right-hand side. What a brilliant take that was, but a touch does come in. Won't be a score, it's the 5th touch. John Regan. Really good break that was from the North East Raiders, but equally really good touch there from Dunk Mascarenas. .90 seconds then remaining. Northwest Blades have this game pretty much sewn up and looking to try and add a 7th. This is really good tempo to this attack, but almost too quick for them in the end. Just one final effort from both these sides. A minute remaining, and then that'll be them done for the day. We'll have one more game left for you remaining. It'll come from the men's 35-40 category, and we'll see the Midlands Tigers 35s take on the West Wildcats 35s. That'll be our final game of the day. But under 30 seconds remaining in this one, and what's been a pretty low-key affair between these two sides. Not much huge attacking intent from either team. But the Northwest Blades looking to try and finish off in style. Can they do just that? Tim Shields had a really good game up against the Midlands Tigers earlier on today. Hasn't been involved as much in this one. 40 minutes gone on our clock, and there is full time then. And it is the Northwest Blades who round off their day with a victory over the North East Raiders by 6 points to 3. A good result for them as they finish off the day. Well, for us, we'll have one more game to bring you here from the Riverside Sports Complex in Nottingham. It comes from the men's 35-40 group, and it will see the Midlands Tigers take on the West Wildcats, and that will be coming up next.
got into touch because my eldest son, Clark Hobson, he was really into it, raved about it, and he achieved England standard. I thought, well, I could maybe do that. So I got into it through Nottingham Touch Club 3 or 4 years ago, following my wife and both my daughters into it. After they'd been to a taster session there, they encouraged me to join them and enjoy playing touch.
I love playing touch because it's a game where you can play 14-year-olds and 60-year-olds together. You can play men and women, so you could have a daughter and a mum playing together, and it's a really good fun to play.
Players and officials, 30 seconds. Please be on the pitches ready to play.
Go Wildcats! Come on Wildcats!
Players and officials, stand by.
So here we go then, final game of the day, of day one of the 2019 Touch National Seniors and Masters here in Nottingham. And it is the men's 35s. Midland Tigers taking on the West Wildcats. It's myself, Brad Hope, joined by the side of me, Darren Harriott, for this one. Well, Darren, this should be another interesting matchup in this one. The men's 35s has been a really interesting one to see today, actually.
Interesting. This is the last round of the tournament for the men's 35s. I know the Wildcats, we've had a difficult day in the office, losing 2 games, so we're kind of desperate to finish with a W to at least have a positive end to the day. So hopefully, I've done a bit of a warm-up with the boys. Hopefully they can do this. I am a bit biased for this one, but
of course. Well,
but
for the viewers at home, you might obviously, if you don't know, Darren, you obviously playing for the West Wildcats men's 35 side. So, and he said it's your first time in a while been strapping the boots back on.
It's been a while since I've strapped the boots on, and I'm now feeling it. I've only had one game. Probably explains why I've only sort of haven't played a lot today. I'm not sure whether I've had a good or bad game this morning, but it's nice to sort of strap the boots back on and be out playing some touch. And hopefully this is a good game to watch.
Yeah. What have the guys been saying? I know obviously it's not been maybe the day you wanted, but what's the guys been saying going into the final?
Just keep it simple, execution of the basic plays that they've been training and working on away from the tournament in the training sessions. But already we've had a difficult start. We've had a snaky run, a jinky run.
Yeah, really nice play.
Seems like he's just got the outside of 2 players there.
Yeah, John Cranston for the Midlands Tigers. Really lovely mazy run through.
And especially it's the end of the day now coming for both teams. It's tired legs on this field, especially when you play 2 40-minute games. So it really is now looking for those gaps on the pitch and seeing if you can maybe sort of punish some of those errors and mistakes and score those vital tries.
And the Wildcats looking to try and respond straight away, but this defence for the Midlands Tigers really compact, isn't it? Really, they just seem really well drilled.
It seems both teams. I commentated on the Midlands Tigers 30s game earlier on. The defence was very solid for that team, not conceding many tries. So it seems like they've really worked hard compared to previous years on their defensive strategies. Very well organised.
Well, here come the Midlands Tigers again, looking to try and get themselves over towards the subs box, which they do, and get some fresh faces on.
It seems like he's just overrun the play there. He's taken the ball well off the field and had to actually come back onto the pitch to play the roll ball.
Well, those tired legs, it's almost hard to stop when you get into those momentum.
And a little bit of momentum. It might be just the coach sort of in his ear just to slow yourself down when you're about to get touched. But they've sort of gathered the pace here.
Yeah, really nice play. Really good quick passing. That just couldn't be finished off. It was Glenn Jones, number 12 for the Midlands Tigers, linking up with Dan Mendes there in the red cap.
So the Wildcats now just driving to the box. You can see they're trying to get fresh legs onto the pitch. Drew, we've seen him at the last tournament on the England Touch YouTube channel. He's a very pacey player, likes to sort of put meters on the ball. He was doing that very well for the Wildcats at the Nationals. You can see now they're just trying to execute a play here. Long pass to the winger. He's cut inside, but not enough space to score a try.
Yeah, final touch, so it will be turned over. And here comes Midlands Tigers back into the middle. Really good turn of pace away.
Good pace. They are really executing out of their half really well. It might be a combination of training with the over 30s team as well. I'd imagine they'd probably hold a joint session, so you can see both teams running their plays and working together to improve each other.
Joshua Bingley there in the middle. He's alongside Dean Hancock for the Midlands Tigers.
See the players just slip there. Looks like they just go back to touch 5 there, I think, at the moment.
Just taking a few steps back to try and see if they can get a bit of momentum running onto it, but the attack amounts to nothing.
I guess on the last play, they're just trying to maybe force something that wasn't quite there. They're worth a risk on touch 5. You see that's a strategy that the Wildcats are using, just to try and really move these Midlands Tigers players, so that when they do get the fresh legs coming onto the pitch, they can really attack those gaps, because they've condensed everybody down.
Good patient builder here for the Wildcats. They've really...
That's Joe Hartley looking for a gap there. He's passed inside. Maybe that pass just needed to be made there.
Yeah, Joe Hartley, if he's been, as Darren pointed out, been following our coverage, he's playing for Oxford, of course.
And he orchestrates a lot of the plays for the Wildcats and for Oxford as well. You could see there he was just trying to get the winger involved in that play, but unfortunately a little interception. So Wildcats will get a fresh set of 6, another chance to maybe set up a play. You can see again they're just looking at this wave play, just trying to move the midfield players to make a gap. But Hartley just caught there.
Just biding their time, the Wildcats. You can see they're getting hunted down though by the Tigers, but still working hard on just that final grasp. Just couldn't get it and go over the line.
And the opportunity was there. to maybe score that try, but just unfortunately Mark Roberts there not quite able to make it stick. But I think it's difficult for wingers. You're not necessarily always involved in every single play, so when it does come to you, sometimes you might snatch at the ball. It's a difficult one.
Yeah, it's also like we've mentioned, it's the end of the day, isn't it? You know, you've been out there all day, and it's actually been quite a relatively lovely day here in Nottingham as well. Not stifling hot compared to it was in Cambridge a couple of weeks ago, but it's hot enough.
Incredibly hot in Cambridge. Again, people been following the coverage will know it was a very warm National Touch Series in the Open tournament. Slightly cooler conditions today, but still, it's meant to be a nice weekend. It's still going to be quite hot as well.
It does make the weather plays such an important role, doesn't it?
Certainly, in terms of how fast you can play and the pace of the game. But the Tigers now just driving right down the middle. You can see they're sucking people in and getting people moving backwards. But a speculative pass there, not quite able to make that one land.
Yeah, Dan Mendes was just looking to try and get on the end of that pass. He actually had a lot of space to run into there to complete the score, but as it stands, still only the one.
You can see a little bit of momentum lost just by going over the mark. Maybe that might be something to work on once they watch the videos back. You can see a lot of the Wildcat players are just slightly overstepping, and that's kind of losing you a little bit of momentum on these initial early plays, the initial drives out of the half.
Midlands Tigers looking to go again, working over towards the left-hand side.
And again, patient build-up now. A couple of touches remaining. You can see I've just tried to set up a little backdoor move. They found the winger, but quite a high catch to take there. Lost his momentum, so it's quite a comfortable touch to be made there by Mark Roberts.
To go back inside.
Again, yeah, against the grain, trying to work the wingers, but loss of control. Ball to ground, so the Wildcats will now start a fresh set of 6 from quite deep in their own half.
Well, looking at the Midlands Tigers side, strong representation from the Cambridge setup, of course. Dan Mendes, John Lovell, Travis Kenny, Glenn Jones, Dean Hancock, Stephen Cleary's been in the commentary box a couple of times today as well. And Cambridge, of course, really expanding in the NTS series. Lots of youngsters and youth coming through as well.
And it's really useful at this sort of level when you're a team that's coming together. If you've got a basis of a good, strong team, a lot of Cambridge players I can see, a few Nottingham players as well. They're Nottingham playing at that elite level. You can see, it really does give you a very good platform to build upon. And you've got players just used to running combinations and lines and moves together.
Midlands Tigers there, 10 minutes gone. Looking to go through.
Safety in numbers there. The Wildcats able to make the touch successfully. Whereas like the Wildcats, I know traditionally it is a team made up of quite a lot of clubs in the area. Some of them are DTS teams, O2 level teams as well, social level teams. So it's very much a step up to play in this tournament.
Have you had plenty of training sessions? How did you prepare for this weekend?
They have had plenty of training sessions. I've got to be honest, I haven't necessarily been to every single training session. I will be honest about that, but it's also getting the numbers and availability as well. Obviously a lot of the training sessions take place on a Sunday, and obviously Sunday being a family day, you're not necessarily always going to get people available to play. And the touch calendar, as you know, Brad, commentates in a lot of tournaments, it's a very busy calendar, so not everybody is able to make every session, and sometimes these Wildcat sessions can be casualties.
Well, the Wildcats are looking to try and press and see if they can get back into this one. Only the one scored in this first half. Low scoring affair.
Very low scoring affair at the moment, but maybe an interception there, but quite quickly the Wildcats were able to make the touch.
It's important they did so, otherwise it could have been cleaned through as well. Good pressure there.
Yeah, good pressure. You can see, I mean, that's something the Wildcats have talked about. Had the opportunity to listen to the huddle before the game, and they do really want to press quite hard against the Midlands Tigers to try and stop some of that momentum. You can see they've prevented the set of 6 sort of going too far up the field. They've almost ended that set of play just before the halfway line.
Patience from the Wildcats.
It's almost, I mean, touch is very much like a game of human chess at times. You're very much trying to put your pieces into the correct positions and try and execute those plays. As you can see, good pace, acceleration there. Oh, just maybe a little bit too much zip on the ball there.
Yeah, it was a real fizzed-in pass, wasn't it?
You can see what Felix Tenbrook was trying to do, but it was quite a pacey pass there. That's a lot of the receiving player.
Again, Midlands Tigers driving through the middle. We've seen that a couple of times, haven't we, actually, in this first half?
It seems like a strategy to really draw the midfield players in and work them hard. And obviously, the harder you're getting the defence to work, the more likely they are maybe to have that loss of concentration or fatigue. But ball to ground there. And the Wildcats will get their set of 6, their chance to maybe try and score that equaliser there. Felix Tenbrook trying to accelerate the ball.
Purposeful running from this attack, in particular for the Wildcats. But again, just it feels like it's just that last moment, those last key passes, they're just going astray.
And that might be based on how well you've trained or the opportunities you've had at training sessions, whether you've been able to get your squad together. And again, as you've seen with certain teams, if you're playing with somebody regularly, you start to know what patterns they're going to run, you start to know what players are going to do, and you can almost call things as well, that familiarity, which may just be lacking from the Wildcat players.
Well, this time around, Midlands Tigers just sort of passing the ball about, just lovely scoop. That was brilliant.
But you can see Simon was there just to cover their comfortable touch made. Simon Kashkai for the Wildcats. So a little fumble there. They've managed to get away with that one, the way the ball was placed. Referee not spotting that one. Cam Allen there doing a good drive.
6th touch, so turnover. Nearly was actually an interception there. It was a very loose pass, wasn't it?
Very close to an interception there. I mean, certainly the Midlands are really harassing. They're getting numbers up on the touch and putting a lot of pressure onto the Wildcats, forcing them to play, making it really difficult for the Wildcats to get out of their half. But good pace there, good acceleration. It's like they're trying to set something up.
Getting out towards the wing. Have they finished it off?
All clear's been given. And the try just scored in the corner there. Again, it's just generating those mismatches in the field and able to sort of throw that slightly speculative pass, but they were able to make it stick.
You could just see there the middle as well for the Wildcats, just getting sucked in as
it's
well.
sucking players in.
And the space opened up, and it's all about sucking them in and then trying to time the pass, isn't it, as well?
Yeah, I mean, it's a fairly simple game. Just pass and draw, or drawing people in and making the right pass at the right time. And the Tigers, again, you can see they're very well drilled in terms of they're running a fairly simple play, but they're running it well. But I've just clearly commentators' curse is very much in action there as the Tigers drop the ball.
There we go, first one of the day, Darren. As the Wildcats again looking to try and now 2 down, obviously trying to get back to only a 1-point deficit, and you feel like it could be important going into the break and they don't get too far behind. They haven't snuck through this time.
No, the touch has been given. Yeah, they'll be desperate to really score that try before half-time, just to make it a bit more comfortable. If they go 3 down, it'd be difficult to come back. Not impossible, but difficult.
As a player, does that just sort of give you something to just build on and hang on to if you can get back to that?
Certainly. If they go into sort of half-time 2-1 down, that's you can end on a positive. Really, you can sort of have a real positive team talk. But going 3-0 down, it's going to be difficult to maybe come back from there.
Yeah, and in a game that feels like it potentially has a low-score final result as well, it seems like every try is going to be hugely important.
And also, I know for tomorrow, the next stage of the tournament, obviously it's a league format. First will play against second in a kind of a semi-final. To see this play through. Oh, it's a comfortable try.
Well, just as we were saying, the Wildcats won't want to be conceding another one. They do add a third.
Dean Hancock there, you can see orchestrating the play, really brave run. Got the outside, he made a lovely pass and a really comfortable finish there, but that was all based on Dean Hancock's really getting acceleration, being brave, having a scoop, taking the Midlands Tigers to 3-0 at the moment.
As a player, when you get into those positions as the half, how much patience, and is it patience or skill? Or
it's a combination. I think it was worth scooping in effect there, because they were on about touch 4 or 5, so and they are 2-0 up as well, so they can probably be a little bit braver as well. That third try really does sort of give you a good advantage going into half time, so it was well worth it there by Dean Hancock. So and he's succeeded as well, so it was obviously the right decision.
So just under 90 seconds then remaining on our clock until the half-time interval. Just claiming it was very close to falling to the floor then.
Very close. And what the Midlands Tigers will want to do now in this situation is very much finish a set of 6, defend really hard. They will not want to concede before half-time. So this is very much you probably see a real big defensive effort now to keep the Wildcats out.
Well, same principle now here for the Wildcats as it was when it was 2-0, but even more important in a sense now, because the game could get away from them if they can't just get one before the break. Let's see if they can do so.
John Perra there for Cam, trying to orchestrate a play there. Hasn't been able to find a winger. Looks like they were just able to get back onto touch Mark Roberts there. Again, they're really working hard for this try. Basketball style pass. Mark Roberts in the corner. And that will make the half-time team talk a bit more pleasurable, but
it's not going to count.
No,
it's
a forward pass. Forward pass being given. And they had time there as well to maybe score that play. Tigers will just take the touch.
Well, shame for the Wildcats. It was a lovely move, wasn't it? A really good build-up from the Wildcats, but they can't finish off the first 20 minutes with a try, so it will be going into the break. Midlands Tigers leading by 3 points to 0. Myself and Darren will be back for the second half very soon.
The boys are playing incredibly well. They're better than I've ever seen them play. We haven't used the full extent of our playbook, predominantly due to the weather conditions, but it's a slight shame. But they're doing their basics incredibly well, getting us down the park and getting us into a scoring situation almost every driving set. The thing for me is really the team cohesion. That winning these games, winning gold was never the goal for these boys. My goal for them was to get as many of the age-appropriate lads into the men's open training squad for 2020. And it's just fantastic to watch some of them really click, really start to play to their full potential. And I'm going to work very hard with the men's open coaches to make sure the boys that are of an appropriate age get a shot at the Opens level.
It's been tough, but the result is exactly what we wanted. I'm incredibly proud. It was a really good campaign. And we've been very blessed with a very good cohesive team that has all worked together incredibly well, but couldn't have done anything without the assistant coaches of Keish and Catherine and Matt managing, and all the background help from the high performance team and Pippa. 13 debutants is probably a record for any junior touch team. I think I lost quite a few of the kids from last year, went up into 18s, managed to hang on to 3. The team just gelled straight away. We got working with lots of teamwork, and they just did brilliantly.
Bronze first year, and then we've had silver last year, and then we've done it. We've finally got the gold, so I could not be more proud of such an amazing group and so much youth and talent in that team. We've got 3 14-year-olds winning mixed 18s. It's incredible. Like, the future for England Touch is, it starts here, and it's looking really, really bright.
Business as usual, I must say. I'm quoting Sammy Phillips, High Performance, who has just said that, we've been professional throughout the whole tournament. They have so much self-belief, and they absolutely love working for their team and putting on that England jersey.
Couldn't be happier. This has been a sensational weekend for England Touch. 4 gold medals. I think we've never achieved that before at JTC, and we're ecstatic. It shows that our high performance programme is working, and the athletes we're starting to create are fantastic, and we're so proud of them. Absolutely incredible to be unbeaten at championships in every division. So hats off to our coaching team and to the athletes themselves for producing such an outstanding result.
Seconds, players and officials, 30 seconds. Quick request as well, if you have a Samsung watch, you've got a charger, you can hand it over to control. Well, as we go into the final stop of the day, players and officials stand by, players and officials stand by.
So here we go then, final 20 minutes of day 1 here at the 2019 Touch Nationals Seniors and Masters in Nottingham. And it's the Midlands Tigers who are currently leading the way over the West Wildcats by 3 points to 0, as you can see in the scoreboard in the top left hand of your picture. He's joined by myself, Brad Hope, and Darren Harriott for this final 20. And it feels like it's important if the Wildcats can really hold this one out, Darren.
Very, very important. I think from a Tigers point of view, they just want to sort of continue. They've had a really good, positive 20 minutes. The Wildcats will be throwing everything at it now to try and score those 3 tries or more they might need to actually win this game. They'll probably be hoping for a little bit more fluidity, a little bit more structure as well, and making sure these plays that they do call eventually stick.
Let's see if the West Wildcats can get off to the perfect start in this second 20. Lovely movement, great turn away.
Joe Hartley there, Simon Cascai with the try. So a fantastic start, scoring straight away. 1 minute of the second half. Joe Hartley there. You can see he's stepped off his left foot back onto his right. Acceleration, beating the man, and a lovely pop off there to Simon Cascai, who finishes it really well there.
was almost like a netball pass, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a netball style pass, but that is something you kind of work on, just to sort of, a gentle lob of the ball, letting that ball fall to the ground and then just touching it down in the right amount of time.
Yeah, you really got to watch it like a hawk, haven't you? And you bend your knees and get down low as you follow the ball down. And it was well executed, and the Wildcats really needed that. And now let's see if they can hold out the Midlands Tigers. Diving for the touch. Again, oh, brilliant work. But I think as the touch come in, the referee's just having a word.
So must have been the faintest of touches there. He's calling last play. The narrowest of touches, that must have been a bootlaces touch.
Dan Harrison, the referee there in your picture.
So that's a turnover there. He must have seen something there.
Wildcats now. Feels like they've just got an extra bit of momentum in their step, haven't they? Yeah.
They're springing their step. I know really at half-time they really sort of focus on the sort of key players, giving the important messages, and not too many words necessarily, but just sort of delivering what they want to do and trying to go away and then listen and execute really as well. Make sure you follow that instruction.
Oh, that's unfortunate. It was just in front of him. It was absolutely perfect. I was going to ask you, Darren, in terms of those half-time team talks, does everyone sort of come around and maybe say their piece, or is it mainly just key individuals?
Key individuals generally speak. In 5 minutes we kind of split into our pods. What do we mean by pods? Like the midfield players, the wingers, the links, they go into little groups, maybe have a minute together just to sort of debrief, and then kind of captains, senior players will then have a further contribution, and we kind of just get on with it, because that 5 minutes does go quite quickly by the time you take on water as well.
Well, at the moment it's been the perfect start for the Wildcats, and they're now driving towards halfway.
Yeah, they've just lifted up the pace a little bit, the Wildcats, but again they know the importance of trying to score those tries to even the game, level the game, or to potentially win it. And they are playing for places in the league table as well.
Well, are we going to see our very own football style Istanbul moments?
Mark Roberts again, has he scored a try? It's been given.
Well, here we go. The Wildcats on the hunt. They are charging back into this game, clawing their way back into the game.
Yeah, he seemed to have plenty of space there, Mark Roberts. A lovely finish there. And again, let's see, maybe in the first half those players weren't necessarily sticking, but now they are, making them stick. So you can see they've already scored 2 tries in the space of 4.5 minutes. So certainly looks like they've trying to up that intensity, up the pace.
Well, Midlands Tigers have just seen sucker punched, and they're now trying to respond. You can almost see a bit of sense of urgency in their play, and it looks like they've sneaked through, and they have.
Yeah, that's a good reply there by the Midlands Tigers. You can see they just sort of made a little gap there. He just caught him on the inside, step back. I think he wasn't quite, if you look at his positioning, he wasn't quite onside, and he didn't quite retreat the full 5 metres. So I think the referees just allowed them to play through the Midlands Tigers, so the try stands.
Well, just the response the Midlands Tigers would have wanted. They'd have been almost a bit stunned by being pegged back to only 1, but here come the Wildcats again. It's almost like they've just been given a huge energy boost at half-time.
Yeah,
you didn't say any words, did you, Darren? I didn't see you leave the commentary box.
I was safely in the commentary box, but you can see both teams are very much coming out with a lot of momentum. It's an important game because both teams really want to finish as high as they can in that final league table. If you've had a tough day and you can get at least 1 win, it makes that team talk at the end of the day a little bit better when you go to the hotel at the end of the evening as well. You just feel a bit more jubilant. Oh, so that's come there making a touch.
So a lot of space to run into the Midlands Tigers. It just gives the chance to the Wildcats to organise themselves. Oh, lovely, skillful back pass.
Backdoor flick.
Lovely stuff.
But, well marshalled there. You can see the Wildcats had that quite under control. That's Ben Blackburn making a touch.
It just felt like for a second the Wildcats were just almost sitting back and just organising themselves. Was that something that you don't have to all the time
they
really
looked
high
like
up.
they were throwing up one-up runners. I mean, the Tigers weren't necessarily driving too hard or pacey at that time, so they could afford just to send one person up. And if you can allow one person to make that touch and they're making it comfortably, it just gives you that millisecond just to rest. And they're going to need all that energy to make that comeback. Simon Cascai again, can he make a little dive? It's just opened up. No, they're going back for an infringement there.
Yeah, it's not going to count this time.
Yeah, touch and pass just made there by Joe Hartley.
Getting up towards halfway. Oh, really good turn of acceleration there.
But you can see that's quite a deep pass he's had to make, because maybe he didn't have the Midland Tigers players accelerating onto the ball as he hoped for, anticipated. And again, they've extended the lead there. So they're back to a 3-point lead, the Midland Tigers.
Yeah, after weathering a bit of a storm in the start of the second half, they've composed themselves, and now they're back to 5-2.
That's certainly a sign of a good team. They did concede 2 quite quick tries in concession, but didn't really panic, and they've reaffirmed their lead.
Well, there's so much experience in this Midlands Tigers side. I'm sure, even though they were under a bit of pressure, they'd have, even in the minutes and the seconds they had, just to have a quick chat and get going again. But here come the Wildcats looking to respond, and it looks like they have. Brilliant for the Wildcats.
It's very much sort of raining tries at the moment. And that's Chris Wood there, just accelerating into that gap and putting the ball down before being touched. A really good try there by Chris Wood, who he's new to playing at this sort of level, so that's really good experience, and hopefully he can take that back to his club. I know he's based at Warwick Touch.
Now let's see if the Wildcats can try and defend and turn over the possession. Good work though from the Midlands Tigers, looking for an opening. Quick, sharp, incisive passing, and it's just the final pass falls dead.
So as well as sort of scoring now, it's the defensive effort really, because we have seen quite a lot of high scoring games today, but it's also working hard in defence. So I know speaking to some coaches, I think the coaches believe that the defence actually wins you games, and you are likely to score, but it's how good you can actually defend as well.
Getting up over halfway.
Yeah, a bit more fluency to the play by the Wildcats. You can see that they are in a situation where they do need tries, so they probably are forcing the play a little bit more. Joe Hartley there with lots of steppy. That's incredibly steppy. And how he celebrates, that's a lovely try. That's difficult to defend when somebody's stepping like that. He's getting your balance in the right position to sort of make that touch is very hard.
A piece of individual brilliance from Joe Hartley, skipping past one, jumping past the other, and just like that, as we thought the game was just getting away from the Wildcats once again, we're only back to 1 point in it with 10 minutes remaining. What a game, Darren.
What a game. And it might be a case of those senior players and more experienced players who are kind of used to playing at this elite level, representing their country as well. It might be a case of them stepping up and really seeing if they can give your team those extra tries. But again, the Midlands are through. Oh, a lovely try.
What a response from the Midlands Tigers. Every time they've been asked questions, they seem to answer them at the moment.
They're certainly not afraid to make the comeback. A lovely try there. Just good patience, and able to put the ball down. And it is a little bit frustrating when you've just gone down the other end and you've scored and you concede straight away. I know the Wildcats might be kicking themselves a little bit at this moment.
Again, work to do now for the Wildcats. It seems that every time they get a step towards their goal of trying to get back to parity, they just see it slip away. But again, still working hard.
Oh, that's No, the deviation. Didn't quite think they hit the try line, so they were caught offside. So the Wildcats are back to a fresh set of 6.
Really good opportunity now for the Wildcats. Want to try and take it.
You just see in the background the referee just making sure that players are really retreating back to that 5-metre line.
Looks like they've got it as well.
Given. She did warn. I mean, she did warn the Midlands Tigers there. She's really sort of saying, make sure you get back. You could just see that her saying that in the background. She's trying to talk the Midlands Tigers players through that, but obviously it's just inches. But they weren't quite back on side to play through in that situation, and that takes the scores to 6-5.
Well, I think that was just rewards for that constant pressure, wasn't it?
It was constant pressure, and I know we've talked about it throughout the season. That repeat set of 6, very difficult to defend. But again, they've gone down that far side, and they've scored a try straight away. Again, it's this little grey area of people not quite getting back. He was slightly behind the line, actually, making it difficult to make that touch. He sort of overran the a bit further back than 5 metres.
It must be so frustrating when you've worked so hard to get back into that position to then concede a score that could have been cut out.
And especially when they're working so hard to generate these tries as well. So it may ultimately be the team that wins this is the team that concedes the less or manages to defend that set of 6.
So the Wildcats again have it all to do to try and get back to all square, looking to go for the corner. Are they going to open it up?
That looks like a try in the corner. Oh, again, the referee's having a little consultation.
Yeah, Dan Harrison just having a quick talk of his sideline referees. Not going to be given.
So the Wildcats will just be, the Midlands Tigers will just be very keen to exit out of their half. They'll just play their usual sort of exit play. Touch free. But again, just loss of control, the ball bobbling there. So the Wildcats now have an opportunity about 10 metres away from the try line. Full set of 6 touches as well.
Yeah, golden opportunity now here for the Wildcats, and in these moments, is it in the back of your mind that you can't be wasting too many of these opportunities when the clock is ticking?
The clock is ticking, but again, I think the senior players will be just getting that message, just stay composed. Oh, that's like the shoelaces there, but he managed to pick that up, David Whittaker.
Just grab it there from, almost plucked it from the sky as it's spread out to the wings, but good pressure. Covering well this defence, driving for the line.
He dived there, dived in. Again, some fantastic touches though. These last sort of desperation touches the Midland Tigers are making, really good.
So turned over, so they can't use that good spell of possession.
And again, it's now that stage where a little bit of game management, just making sure you're doing what you've worked hard away from the tournament, your training sessions, you're doing it right, correctly. And you'll probably find the Tigers now just wanting to make sure they finish every set of 6.
Yeah, work the clock down, don't give away any silly errors as soon as I say that. And now the Wildcats have the chance to really drive the field. That was
quite a firm touch there. But obviously you've got to play to the referee. It's not called, so let's just play on in that situation.
Ball just looped into the air. It's plucked out the sky. Trying to drive forward. Here's Hartley.
Hartley again. Matthew James there. Oh,
just slipping at the crucial moment. He almost could see the His name in lights going over
very
the line.
close. It would have been a difficult one to take, but if he'd managed to catch that, and that's good meters there made. I mean, that's almost, he's given his team a good 20 meters, touch 2, almost on the halfway line. Yeah, with about 3 minutes left of the game, it's now looking difficult. Good pace.
Really good touch, just as they were going through for the line. But now really working the clock down. Just
very much, you can see that's a tactic. Just holding on to the ball, keep control of possession.
Ball whipped out.
That's a try.
Brilliant ball out to the wing.
Yeah, lovely try there. Scored by the winger. Just well set up.
Jones just fizzing that ball out, and it was so accurate and a really composed finish as well.
I mean, that takes it to 8-5, so it's going to be difficult to come back in it now with 2 minutes. I know we've talked about it in the past how you might need like 35 seconds, 45 seconds per sort of set of 6. So I don't think time is on the side of the Wildcats at the moment, but I think they'll be a lot pleased with the second half performance. A much stronger second half.
Yeah, going into the start of the second half, they were 3 down. So even though technically, of course, that 3-point advantage, but they really started the second half with a really good positive momentum, didn't they? And they have pushed the Midlands Tigers all the way.
But credit as well to the Midlands Tigers as well. I mean, it's important to stress they weathered that storm, and they've always made sure that even if they've conceded, they've really worked hard to go down the other end and score those tries. You know, they've certainly built that three-point lead, 3-try lead. And yeah, there was a little bit of a wobble at the beginning of the second half, but they've seemed fairly comfortable. And with an 8-5 lead, you know, that's a good victory for them, and a few more points in the league table.
Well, in the men's 35, accompanying these two sides is the South East Taipans and South East Sharks. That concludes those 4 teams that are involved in the men's 35 as we enter into the final minute of the day here in Nottingham. Midlands Tigers looking to try and finish off in style as well.
Yeah, maybe a party piece to finish with. They can kind of go for it now. They've comfortably got a lead. Oh, and a fresh set of 6 on Chris Wood there. He had to come into, sorry, not Chris Wood, that's Ben Blackburn. He had to come in really to close that down. The Tigers now will have a set of 6, not long left. I'm sure they will just play out this set of 6. That's one you can see. You know, they're taking a lot of the pace off this game. This might be the slowest roll ball you've ever seen, but they've earned that really.
They certainly have. The seconds are ticking down. They'll be just, if they do know the timings, they'll know the hooter is going to sound. It does now.
Maybe Hollywood play, you know, and they've just taken a touch there, and that's a really good victory for the Midlands Tigers. 8-5, really good performance.
A brilliant performance then for the Midlands Tigers in a game that sort of swinging roundabouts really. They were in a strong position going into the break, and then the West Wildcats really came out fighting in that opening couple of minutes. Well, what a day we've had here in Nottingham, the opening day of the 2019 Touch Nationals Seniors and Masters here at the Riverside Sports Complex, and we'll do it all over again tomorrow for day 2, where we'll get into the really meaningful stuff in the finals. Of course, we'll bring you all those finals later on tomorrow, but we'll be starting bright and early, 8 o'clock start tomorrow, so set your alarms early and join us here on the England Touch Rugby YouTube channel. The men's 45s will kick us off tomorrow. West Wildcats taking on the South East Sharks. That'll be coming up first off tomorrow at 8 o'clock in the morning. But from everyone here in Nottingham at the Riverside Sports Complex, thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you tomorrow.
playing touch because it's a game where you can play 14-year-olds and 60-year-olds together. You can play men and women, so you could have a daughter and a mum playing together, and it's a really good fun to play.
The boys are playing incredibly well. They're better than I've ever seen them play. We haven't used the full extent of our playbook, predominantly due to the weather conditions, but it's a slight shame. But they're doing their basics incredibly well, getting us down the park and getting us into a scoring situation almost every driving step. The thing for me is really the team cohesion. That winning these games, winning gold was never the goal for these boys. My goal for them was to get as many of the age-appropriate lads into the men's open training squad for 2020. And it's just fantastic to watch some of them really click, really start to play to their full potential. And I'm going to work very hard with the men's open coaches to make sure the boys that are of an appropriate age get a shot at the opens level.
It's been tough, but the result is exactly what we wanted. I'm incredibly proud. It was a really good campaign, and we've been very blessed with a very good cohesive team that has all worked together incredibly well, but couldn't have done anything without the assistant coaches of Keish and Catherine and Matt managing, and all the background help from the high performance team and Pippa. 13 debutants is probably a record for any junior touch team. I think I lost quite a few of the kids from last year, went up into 18s, managed to hang on to 3. The team just gelled straight away. We got working with lots of teamwork, and they just did brilliantly.
Bronze first year, then we've had silver last year, and then we've done it. We've finally got the gold, so I could not be more proud of such an amazing group and so much youth and talent in that team. We've got 3 14-year-olds winning mixed 18s. It's incredible. Like, the future for England Touch is, it starts here, and it's looking really, really bright.
Business as usual, I must say. I'm quoting Sammy Phillips, High Performance, who has just said that, we've been professional throughout the whole tournament. They have so much self-belief, and they absolutely love working for their team and putting on that England jersey.
Couldn't be happier. This has been a sensational weekend for England Touch. 4 gold medals. I think we've never achieved that before at JTC, and we're ecstatic. It shows that our high performance programme is working, and the athletes we're starting to create are fantastic, and we're so proud of them. Absolutely incredible to be unbeaten at championships in every division. So hats off to our coaching team and to the athletes themselves for producing such an outstanding result.
I got into touch because my eldest son, Clark Hobson, he was really into it, raved about it, and he achieved England standard. I thought, well, I could maybe do that. So I got into it through Nottingham Touch Club 3 or 4 years ago. Following my wife and both my daughters into it, after they'd been to a taster session there, they encouraged me to join them and enjoy playing touch.
touch because it's a game where you can play 14-year-olds and 60-year-olds together. You can play men and women, so you could have a daughter and a mum playing together, and it's a really good fun to play.
The boys are playing incredibly well. They're better than I've ever seen them play. We haven't used the full extent of our playbook, predominantly due to the weather conditions, but it's a slight shame. But they're doing their basics incredibly well, getting us down the park and getting us into a scoring situation almost every driving set. The thing for me is really the team cohesion. That winning these games, winning gold was never the goal for these boys. My goal for them was to get as many of the age-appropriate lads into the men's open training squad for 2020. And it's just fantastic to watch some of them really click, really start to play to their full potential. And I'm going to work very hard with the men's open coaches to make sure the boys that are of an appropriate age get a shot at the open table.
It's been tough, but the result is exactly what we wanted. I'm incredibly proud. It was a really good campaign, and we've been very blessed with a very good cohesive team that has all worked together incredibly well, but couldn't have done anything without the assistant coaches of Keish and Catherine and Matt managing, and all the background help from the high performance team and Pippa. 13 debutants is probably a record for any junior touch team. I think I lost quite a few of the kids from last year, went up into 18s, managed to hang on to 3. The team just gelled straight away. We got working with lots of teamwork, and they just did brilliantly.
Bronze first year, and then we've had silver last year, and then we've done it. We've finally got the gold, so I could not be more proud of such an amazing group and so much youth and talent in that team. We've got 3 14-year-olds winning mixed 18s. It's incredible. Like, the future for England Touch is, it starts here, and it's looking really, really bright.
Business as usual, I must say. I'm quoting Sammy Phillips, High Performance, who has just said that, we've been professional throughout the whole tournament. They have so much self-belief, and they absolutely love working for their team and putting on that England jersey.
Couldn't be happier. This has been a sensational weekend for England Touch. 4 gold medals. I don't think we've never achieved that before at JTC, and we're ecstatic. It shows that our high performance programme is working, and the athletes we're starting to create are fantastic, and we're so proud of them. Absolutely incredible to be unbeaten at championships in every division. So hats off to our coaching team and to the athletes themselves for producing such an outstanding result.
I got into touch because my eldest son, Clark Hobson, he was really into it, raved about it, and he achieved England standard. I thought, well, I could maybe do that. So I got into it through Nottingham Touch Club 3 or 4 years ago. Following my wife and both my daughters into it, after they'd been to a taster session there, they encouraged me to join them and enjoy playing touch.
I love playing touch because it's a game where you can play 14-year-olds and 60-year-olds together. You can play men and women, so you could have a daughter and a mum playing together, and it's a really good fun to play.
The boys are playing incredibly well. They're better than I've ever seen them play. We haven't used the full extent of our playbook, predominantly due to the weather conditions, but it's a slight shame. But they're doing their basics incredibly well, getting us down the park and getting us into a scoring situation almost every driving set. The thing for me is really the team cohesion. That winning these games, winning gold was never the goal for these boys. My goal for them was to get as many of the age-appropriate lads into the men's open training squad for 2020. And it's just fantastic to watch some of them really click, really start to play to their full potential. And I'm going to work very hard with the men's open coaches to make sure the boys that are of an appropriate age get a shot at the open table.
It's been tough, but the result is exactly what we wanted. I'm incredibly proud. It was a really good campaign, and we've been very blessed with a very good cohesive team that has all worked together incredibly well, but couldn't have done anything without the assistant coaches of Keish and Catherine and Matt managing, and all the background help from the high performance team and Pippa. 13 debutants is probably a record for any junior touch team. I think I lost quite a few of the kids from last year, went up into 18s, managed to hang on to 3. The team just gelled straight away. We got working with lots of teamwork, and they just did brilliantly.
Bronze first year, and then we've had silver last year, and then we've done it. Finally got the gold. So I could not be more proud of such an amazing group and so much youth and talent in that team. We've got 3 14-year-olds winning mixed 18s. It's incredible. Like, the future for England Touch is, it starts here.